Hello, Facebook. Hello, Facebook Live. Just adjust myself there. There we go. All right. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Facebook. Hello, YouTube. However you're catching us. It is Wednesday, March 31st. Wednesday, March 31st. And good morning to everybody who's tuning in. We are closed today. We're closed on Wednesdays here at the restaurant at Aroma Time. I'm in the restaurant right now, though, at the bar, filming this live stream. But we are closed today. So, restaurant. All right. So, wanted to talk about one of the struggles that I have at the restaurant here. And it's crazy because a lot of people just don't think about this. A lot of chefs don't think about this. A lot of people don't think about this. And a lot of salespeople don't think about this. So yesterday we had this Italian import company come in that we do business with. They've been doing business with them for a while. We buy a few really nice products from them, and they wanted to show some new products and show some old products that we haven't really bought before, or they haven't shown us before. So like, okay, yeah. So we went through they opened up this cooler, their traveling cooler, and they showed us a bunch of things. And of course, I read ingredients on labels, right? I do that on every single thing. And all these Italian ingredients, it's amazing. Like it's all clean and pure, like really clean and pure. So this prompted the other day because we do this great cheese plate here at the restaurant, and we use these bread crisp that we make ourselves from Bread Alone. So we buy Bread Alone organic baguettes, and we slice them thin, and we make bread crisp. But I have such a problem right now. We've had a problem. We've always lost a lot because they break. We dehydrate them and they break. And if you cut them too thick, they won't break, but then they're too hard to eat. So there's just a certain thickness you have to slice them to make them nice and crispy, and hopefully they won't break. So we lose a lot. I mean, it's just a lot go to breadcrumbs just because they break and fall apart. So I said to a couple sales reps, I said, hey, I need an all natural, legit, like healthy bread crisp that I can use for my cheese plate. So a couple of distributors are like, okay, here you go, try this. And first question I ask is, what are the ingredients? What are the ingredients, right? That's the first question I ask, what are the ingredients? And I usually get, back from them, because they know how I am. They go, Marcus, if you don't like it, just send it back. Just take a look at it. If you like it, don't send it back. Because a lot of sales reps don't have access to the ingredients on their computer and their thing. Like, we have to then go to the company's website, the producer's website, and go and read. And I have to tell you, a lot of companies that produce products don't even have the ingredients on their website. So then you have to go to something like Instacart or something else, or Amazon, and hopefully that somebody else has posted the ingredients to that product, which doesn't happen all the time. A lot of times it's very secretive of what goes into them. So all my sales reps know that, hey, Marcus is going to look at the ingredients, so just send it back if you don't like it. So we ordered a couple different bread crisp, and everything that came in had these cheap ingredients, like brominated flour, cheap canola oil, and they're packaged that they look like they're a healthier product, like whole grain, pumpernickel, whatever it is, but they all have these massively cheap ingredients in it that keeps the price way down. So do you people out there that are watching, I just activated a poll on here, I believe I did. Does everybody, actually I did not, here we go, pause poll. No, let's see here. Reopen poll. So I'm trying to create a poll here. Do you guys, I think I just did it, do you guys read ingredients? Do you read ingredients on on labels that you buy? So this Italian company that has all these Italian products, all the ingredients are so legit in them. Expeller pressed sunflower oil, as opposed to canola oil, extra virgin olive oil. I got sun-dried tomatoes coming from the day with 0 sulfites. It's so hard to find a sun-dried tomato with no sulfites, because they pack them in these sulfites so they keep this color. So much of the food that we buy here at the grocery stores and in food distribution, especially in the restaurant world, the ingredients are so cheap. But a lot of people always just look at the label, right? A lot of people just look at the label. And this happens to be a legit company, right? Annie's Cinnamon Graham Crackers. This is an organic box. But a lot of people will pick up a box in the grocery store and look and say, oh, it says 100% of vitamin C, or it says, so much of my daily fiber, or so much of this and that. But they never really turn it around and look at the actual ingredients that are on it right there, right? So they never actually look in and see the ingredients. Sometimes they'll look at the fat. Sometimes they'll look at the fat, the macronutrients, right? But they don't really they never dive into the actual ingredients of what's actually in it. So are you an ingredient reader? Do you read ingredients on the boxes? This is another great company here. Back to Nature. These classic rounds, these crackers, this is a great company too. But even though the company might look great or might be coming out of a health food section, you have to read. If you're concerned about what you eat, you have to read the ingredients. So, are you an ingredient? Do you read the ingredients very closely? Good morning, everybody tuning in. Hi, Gretchen. Hi, Judy. I know Judy does, and I'm sure Gretchen does. Absolutely. Good morning, Michelle. Of course, Jamie's on. Hi, Joel. So I created this poll here. I'm not sure if it's working. It's my very first time doing a poll here. So, oh yeah, we've got some answers. Okay, awesome. So right now, 100% people answering the poll are, Jamie's saying there's no poll. Reopen the poll. There's answers in here. Reopen poll. Okay, poll's reopened. Dina says, I try to, if it has more than 5, I move on. So yeah, so that's really a key thing, Dina. That's a great guideline. Like, when you start buying packages of food and it has all these ingredients, chances are you don't even waste your time reading. You're like, okay, if they're putting all this in here, they're probably putting a bunch of funky stuff. Like, you wouldn't realize if you start cross-referencing. There the poll's going again. Okay, we got more answers. Awesome. So if you start just researching some of those ingredients that we think are considered safe, because a lot of the ingredients in food are considered safe ingredients by yours truly, the FDA and the USDA. They deem a lot of these ingredients safe, or they deem these ingredients safe. Other countries, on one of my YouTube, we have a series Jamie and I did several years ago on the 10 banned ingredients in other countries that the U.S. still uses in our foods, and some countries outright ban some of the stuff, and some countries just say, we know our people aren't that stupid to, eat this much corn syrup, so they just have an alternative. They're not going to eat this, they're not going to eat that, or we just don't grow GMOs to begin with. Other countries have different standards. So this Italian company that came in, their standards are just so different in Italy than ours. On a lot of these ingredients and a lot of these things. So we were looking at actually some convenience products. Jamie and I are looking at doing the most amazing charcuterie board ever. We want to have kind of says be careful of natural ingredients. 100% be careful. When something says natural, there's a reason why it says natural, because they're trying to trick you. And there's a lot of things that are considered natural. GMOs are considered natural. Pumping chicken with chlorine is considered natural. But Jamie and I are in the process of making an amazing charcuterie board. We want you to have a really good experience with a charcuterie board. The good prosciutto, local soppressata, some local cheeses, and we're trying to get a bread cracker crisp on the plate. And we want to do a pickled item, an olive item, some vegetables. We did this tomato tasting yesterday, Jamie and I. This company brought in us 5 different tomatoes from Italy, and there's these tomato confit. Every tomato's from a different region, and the tomatoes are super expensive, by the way. The cans are oh my gosh, and some that are semi-dried in oil, some that are just peeled. But tomatoes you can eat right out of the can. If you went to buy a can of whole tomatoes in the store, these tomatoes they come from this specific region in Campania, this specific region in Sicily, this specific region in Apulia, and they were the tomatoes were insane. I don't know if last week on our grocery list we had We had these tomatoes on sale last week on our grocery list. These cherry tomatoes from Campania, and these tomatoes here, you just basically just open them up, bring them to one simmer. That's it. You can crush them with your hand if you want, or a fork or something. Give them one tiny crush, and it goes beautiful with pasta. You don't need to add. You don't need to cook this. You don't need to cook this sauce for hours. Like people say, oh, I cooked my tomato sauce for 45 minutes or 3 hours or something. These tomatoes. You can eat them right out of the can. One of the dishes we recently did, I've done on and off, is we open this can, bring the tomatoes for one simmer, put them in a bowl, add a little olive oil and a piece of burrata cheese, a ball of burrata cheese right on top of it, and some grilled bread. It's a great, great summertime dish. It is amazing, amazing, amazing. When you start with good ingredients like this, it's easy to make good food. So this company also has several other tomatoes. They literally probably have like 10 different tomatoes in cans from every specific region in Italy that makes the best tomatoes. And Jamie and I were eating these tomatoes, we're like, oh my gosh. And then they pulled out these other things. We had like a whole buffet here yesterday at lunch. It was really, really, really good. So Michelle says there's things I can't even pronounce in some of the foods, which can't be good. Exactly. If you can't pronounce it, if you cannot pronounce it, chances are it is not good for you if you cannot pronounce it. Now there's certain things that are good for you that are just harder to pronounce. Sometimes they'll list like the phytonutrients, the antioxidants in certain things. Like this is rich in anazastathin, and that might be hard to read, but it's actually a real ingredient. It's a real phytochemical, right? Phytonutrient. So Connie says actually had them last night over zucchini noodles. Connie was talking about the tomatoes. So these tomatoes, they were on sale last week. They're not expensive to begin with. I think they're only like $1.99 a can to begin with. So one of these cans, you can feed several people, make a pasta sauce on it. It's fantastic. So I got a lesson yesterday in Italian food, and Jamie and I love to go to Italy. We cannot wait to go back to Italy. And this company that sells us these products, these Italian products, is just like so legit. So when the salespeople were in yesterday, two of them were in. They were telling me about Guiliano, Italy, which is a place near Naples. It's a town near Naples, small mountain town near Naples, and they are known for their pasta. They've mastered bronze die cut pasta. Now, sometimes every now and then you'll see on a box of pasta bronze die cut pasta. So when the actual die that it goes through, the press, the bronze has a very unique way of extruding the pasta, which allows it to open up and absorb. And if you're using the right flour, you get this really starchy, like they say sometimes in Italy, or when you make pasta, use some of the pasta water for your sauce. When it's good flour, the really good flour, and it's bronze die cut, that's when that works optimally. So I've known this. Now, Guiliano, Gragnano, Guiliano, Italy, down by Naples, is known for and has perfected like every part of Italy is known for a certain thing. So like pizza comes from Naples, burrata comes from Andrea, Italy, from Apulia, prosciutto comes from Parma, balsamic comes from Modena and Viola. So every region has its very certain specific things. So supposedly this is the city, whether it's the birthplace or what they're known for, of bronze die cut pastas. And bronze die cut pastas are going to be more expensive. But if they're done the right way, using the right flour, they actually expand and they are amazing. And they hold their shape better, so you can actually cook them less, and they won't fall apart on you. So Dina's saying every school should have a dietitian class to teach kids how to read labels and what to avoid. I agree 100% with that, 100%. In the meantime, us parents have to teach our kids because the schools aren't doing that. And And some of us parents have to take the time to learn it ourselves because nobody's teaching it. If you go to the doctor's not teaching it. If you go to the hospital, the problem is the American Dietetic Association takes an insane amount of money, millions and millions of dollars from special interest groups every year. So if you're the American Dietetic Association and you're getting donations or funding from places like Coca-Cola and Pepsi for $2, $3, $4 million at a shot, you're not going to bite the hand that feeds you, so to speak. So you're not going to say, well, Pepsi's not the most ideal thing. Avoid Pepsi. That's not in the literature. And this all started back in the 1700s with sugar consumption. You went to your doctor, and your doctor told you. William Duffy documents all this beautifully in his 1978 book, I think, called Sugar Blues. It's called Sugar Blues, but he wrote it in the 70s. And William Duffy, D-U-F-T-Y, Sugar Blues, and he documents in this book how in the 1700s the Catholic Church realized that sugar plantations were extremely, extremely lucrative. So the Catholic Church went in and started buying sugar plantations. Well, if you went to the doctor in the 1600s, 1700s, late 1700s, they would tell you how much sugar you're eating. Cut the sugar out. Cut the sugar out. That was what it was. Cut the sugar out. Well, they couldn't have this bad rap or bad image on sugar now that the Catholic Church was involved in this national, international, global business and trade of sugar. So this is when the Catholic Church started sponsoring, rewriting some of the medical curriculum to saying that sugar's not bad for you. Sugar's not bad for you. Sugar's not bad for you. And this is where the word quack came in. If you went to your doctor, starting after the medical literature was rewritten by the Catholic Church, sponsored, if you went to your doctor, then and they mentioned, well, you shouldn't be eating sugar, your doctor was coined a quack and stop teaching or preaching quackery. So that's how the word quack came about when it comes to anything alternative or anything. In England, it got so bad with sugar that if you went into a bar, they would actually take the beer, and if you were a consumer, you take the beer and you drop it some on the counter and let it dry and stick your finger on it to see how much sugar was in the beer. And if you were a brewer that was using sugar, you literally got hung for using sugar. They didn't want that in their beer. So, but of course, sugar makes things taste great. So, so the Brits had their own way of testing for sugar in their beer. So, unfortunately, when you're the American Dietetic Association, you're taking money from Coca-Cola, from Pepsi, from the beverage industry, all these companies, all these special interest industries and companies, that it's hard to go against them. I had a friend who was in the hospital, and this is in Westchester at Valhalla, and I was bringing food. And the dietitian and, of course, the nurse, anytime anybody's been in the hospital, like my parents or any friends, I will bring them, if they ask, I will bring them stuff. My parents automatically brought stuff. But as soon as you start bringing food into the hospital for loved ones, this raises a major red flag. And this is the best way to actually talk to the dietitian, because the dietitian will typically show up. If you show up in the hospital with things like kombucha, green juice, and you start questioning things that are coming out of the cafeteria for your loved one, and how they're cooking, things like that, that's the easiest way to have the dietitian to show up unannounced in the room or give you a call. It's happened every single time I've done that. And in Westchester, the dietitian, she argued with me, saying that corn syrup metabolizes, quote, consuming corn syrup is the same as consuming a pear or an apple. And this is how stupid these people are in charge of the health, the nutrition for thousands and thousands of people in the hospital. And she's arguing with me that there's no difference between corn syrup, then a teaspoon of corn syrup, tablespoon of corn syrup, and a pear. And I said, listen, there's no fiber, there's no enzymes, it's a different type of sugar, it's not processed. Eating fruit in the morning versus taking corn syrup in any of those formulas you have is a totally different metabolism. But this is what they're taught, and they're convinced of this because they have to be convinced of this, because at the top of the ADA, this is what they're dealing with. They're dealing with all special interest groups. So these people go out into the field as professionals to now be in charge of people, and they don't read ingredients. These dietitians don't read ingredients, most of them. They have no clue of really what's happening. So if there were to be a class on this. It probably would be a lot of special interest education in there. So it's up to us parents to teach our kids how to eat good food and what to read and what to look for. So when Courtney was maybe in second grade, they read everything, and so one of her friends had a bottled drink, and Courtney said to the other little girl, to her friend, goes, "That has corn syrup in it. It's not that good for you." And so the girl told her mom, and the mom said, "Oh, it's not that bad, honey. It's okay. You can still keep drinking." So Courtney, told us a story a couple days later. She's like, "I told so and so, that there was corn syrup," and she asked her mommy, and her mommy said it's okay to drink that. So, folks, we are the ones who have to teach our kids, and like even my parents, being grandparents with Courtney and Justin, with them being young, you go over there and it's like, oh, here's this, here's that. I'm like, do not get them used to giving them candy when they walk in your house. Get them used to having an apple or a pear when they walk into your house, or a banana, or dehydrate some fruit from. Get them used to getting that when they walk into your house. And Courtney must have been like 2 years old, 3 years old, and maybe 2 years old. But this was really before, I think, when she first started talking. And when we drove down the street to my parents' house, the first thing she'd say is pick, 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 because we would go there to pick plums off the trees, and she knew we were going to pick fruit at Grandma's house. So we got them used to, hey, this is what Grandma's house is about. It's about going to pick fruit, it's about eating this, eating that. So it's just all about what you train your kids. So, but I agree, Dina, there should be a legitimate class about reading ingredients. Folks, if you don't even know anything about nutrition, zero about nutrition, if you started reading every single thing you were consuming, you'd start learning about nutrition, because you'd be interested to know, what in the world am I consuming? What in the world is this? So there's a poll here, folks, today, if you want to take the little poll here. 88% of you right now read ingredients, and 12% of you want to read more often. And I know it's tough. When you go into a restaurant, like I've actually gone into Panera Bread before and said, what's in the dressing? Like, what's in this? What's in that? And Panera is good, because a lot of these quick service restaurants, you have to go on the site and you got to go online. Panera actually handed me their book. They used to hand me their book, and I used to be able to flip open this binder and go right to that page of the dressing, of the bread. And it listed all the ingredients, and I could make a choice based upon that of what we were eating at Panera Bread, based upon the best. Now, let me just say, there really is no good option at Panera Bread unless you're just eating the lettuce. There really is no good option. Once they start adding dressing, once you start adding their breads, this stuff is done for very high volume, quick service food. And that's one of the issues with a lot of these restaurants, is they have to cut corners somewhere when they're doing that type of food volume. You have to have preservatives and things. You have to have certain things. I'm currently writing a menu for a quick service operation concept, and researching all the food. And there's more and more food that's available out there now for these quick services. Like you can get organic, no chem cooked chicken meat. If you're in a place that wants to make chicken salad and you don't have the time and there's nobody there to cook chicken and pull the chicken, which is a tedious thing, then you want to make like a curry chicken salad for a sandwich, you can actually buy organic pulled chicken meat already cooked, ready to go. But it costs dearly, and most of these places don't even think. Your goal is, when you open a restaurant, most of these cases, is to find the cheapest ingredients for the food. It's not that this is the mindset. You find the cheapest. They all say they want to buy the best. They want to buy the best. They want to buy the best. They all say it, because that's just what we're taught as chefs in school. Start with the best ingredients, but we really don't know the true definition of the best ingredients. Or really, what is the definition of the best beef? Is it prime beef? Is it choice beef? That is a prime beef that's put into feedlots and fattened up to their unhealthy beef, and they have health issues. And if they lived another 6 months, they'd probably have all kinds of things like brain rotting, or mad cow disease. A lot of the times they process these animals at a very young age, so they don't live out their normal life. But if they were to live out their normal life, you'd see a lot of massive disease in these animals. So when you start processing animals, cows at 18 months old, they're still babies. 22 months old, they're still babies. But if you processed, a cow at 8 years, 9 years, chances are some of those cattle wouldn't even make it that long because they'd have such tremendous disease rates. They wouldn't make it that long. But in their infancy, the diseases aren't coming out. These degenerative diseases aren't coming out. So do you consider, like, when you talk to most chefs consider the best beef to be prime beef that's primal. That's the unhealthiest beef. That's the stuff that's fed the most hormones, the most antibiotics, that's put into confinement. Or is the best beef truly grass-fed beef where there's no, where they're on grass pastures, that aren't being sprayed, but of course it's not graded. So you never go to a steakhouse and see them advertise or think the best ingredient is truly grass-fed, humanely raised, environmentally responsible beef. For them, it's prime beef. So we're taught at the beginning, like, what is really the best ingredients, and when we don't, who knows what the best ingredient is? But that's what restaurants say. We buy the best ingredients. Now I can tell you, that buying these graham crackers are totally different. These are the graham crackers we use in our s'mores. Buying these graham crackers, I pay 5 to 6 times the price versus cheap graham crackers that I can buy with trans fats, with cheap canola oil, with brominated flour, with enriched flour, with all these cheap, massive ingredients in it. I can easily buy that at literally a fifth of the price. But I choose to buy this. So I think my definition of the best graham cracker is something that is a lot healthier. But that might not be the definition. Now, the best restaurants that say, we buy the best ingredients are not looking for this. They're not looking for an organic graham cracker. They're looking for bulk graham crackers at $20 a case, right? That's literally far less the price. So for them, they might buy, we buy the best beef, which really isn't the best beef. And then all of a sudden we get cheap on everything else. Like our marshmallows. We were yesterday talking about all the distributors we buy from with somebody, and they're like, "Wow, you buy from a lot of distributors." I'm like, "Yeah, because we buy, like, our marshmallows come from one distributor. We buy straight directly from the manufacturer. There's no pork gelatin in it. There's no egg whites in it. There's no funky ingredients in it. It's like the real deal, all natural, plant-based marshmallow that is awesome." Right? So we have to buy directly from the producer on that because none of the distributors actually stock this here where we do business. And the same thing like with our kelp noodles, with a lot of things, we go directly right to the source. So thanks everybody for tuning in. I know I'm on here rambling away. Been on for almost 27 minutes. Got a lot of people taking the poll, so thank you. Do you read ingredients? Do you want to more often, or do you not read ingredients? I think everybody wants to really read ingredients, but I don't think, like, going into these quick service restaurants, like, we're just at the mercy of thinking, oh, Panera bread is healthier or Chipotle is healthier. I got to tell you something. Chipotle, you walk in and they and I like Chipotle. You walk in and we buy so much organic produce a year. We buy this and that. Take a look at their ingredients on their tortillas. Ask them for the ingredients on their tortillas. You can't find it on them. It's hard to find their ingredients. They've showed me the ingredients on their tortillas. I wouldn't buy them for my restaurant. So here's a restaurant that you walk into that says, they're leading the way, in quick service with health and nutrition and this, that. Your first ingredient, their tortillas are terrible. They're terrible. I would never buy those tortillas for our restaurant. We had to throw tortillas out recently because they got moldy. That's because ours don't have preservatives in them, chemicals like that. They don't have cheap canola oil. I mean, so we actually just recently had to throw a bunch out because if you don't freeze them, you lose them. So, Connie's saying I buy siete. What is siete, Connie? And Joel's saying something. Oh yeah, Joel. Yeah, Joel. Joel's saying that he's witnessed chopped liver being mass produced, and they put in chicken liver being made with, or they've had liver with tumors in them. Yes, you will find growing, being in Colorado, cooking in Colorado, and being around the beef processing plant, beef, chicken, there's tumors in these animals. There are tumors in these animals. The USDA inspector is there, and they inspect literally, one animal out of every 100 or whatever, and make sure, they inspect, and then the whole batch is deemed safe. But the inspector's there, they go through things. They're not catching every single thing, but it's very common, extremely common, for tumors. Not sure if they're cancerous or not. They could be, but there's very common for tumors to be involved in the processing plants. I saw that with the little experience that I had of going into these processing plants in Colorado. Um, if you've read Fast Food Nation, I became very friendly with Frank Grindinger from GNC Packing, and he was a full-out processing plant. And I was on the floor, the processing floor, where the animals go in, and educating myself in this whole process. Um, so it's very, very, very common, even in what would be healthier living animals, to be tumors in them and stuff. So yeah, that's common. Okay, Sith is made of cassava flour. Yeah, cassava flour is really good. Cassava flour, yucca flour, really, really good. We have a pasta here that's made from cassava flour. Expensive, but good. Folks, you get what you pay for. You honestly get what you pay for. That's the reality of this. You get what you pay for. And, unfortunately, all these degenerative diseases that we have in our society, we've paid for them over the years by eating cheaper food. So we've actually, we've saved money on one side, but increased the thing from the other side. Now, there's a lot of things that cause degenerative diseases. It's not just food. It's all kinds of contaminants and pollution and where you can live, and things can be out of your control. If somebody eats super healthy, it doesn't help that their water is contaminated, or that they live on top of an old dump or whatever, or, there's stuff in the air and your neighbors are doing stuff. So there's a lot of things that actually go into living a healthy lifestyle besides just eating. Stress is one of the worst things for your body, for your health. Stress is terrible. You can eat all the good food you want, but if you have stress, which sometimes, if you walk into a restaurant and stress yourself out because you're trying to eat good, and you stress yourself out, that there might be a trade-off at some point where you say, you know what, I should probably not put myself in that situation, or I should just relax when I'm eating food right now, because if I stress myself out, I know the consequences of stress. So there's a lot of things that actually go into the quality of air, even to where you sleep at night with your phone. Is your phone on your nightstand next to you? This is all always communicating, right? Your phone is always communicating the electromagnetic frequency. So this is near your head anywhere. This should be like 3 feet away from you. Do you walk around with your phone on you all day? There's so many environmental factors that a lot of us don't think about. And food, of course. Food is by far the most intimate thing any of us could ever do. Food. The food that you eat assimilates into you, into your cells, into your bloodstream, becomes part of you. So the saying "you are what you eat" is not, it's so profound. We don't even know we don't even know the first time we ever heard that, right? We just know that, hey, we've always been told you are what you eat. And that statement is so true, because all of that assimilates into your body and becomes part of you. Becomes part of your whole environment inside your digestive tract, everything. It goes into your blood, everything. So you are what you eat. So, but as far as being healthy, there's a lot of things that you can do to be healthy, and detoxing is one of them. Um, Relaxing, meditation, less stress, great quality air. One of the most important things is to keep moving your body. Really keep moving your body. When you stop moving, the human body is designed to move, and once you stop moving, you start dying. Our bodies love to be in motion. The book Born to Run is a fantastic book, and a lot of people tell me I just can't run. Our human body is designed to run. That's what made us, the species that we are. Is we were designed to run long distances. Not fast, but long distances. We have an Achilles tendon, which is a shock absorber. We're the only species that has that. And we are designed to actually catch our breath and regenerate our breath while we're running. Dogs can't do that. In fact, they have to. You look at dogs, and they sometimes just have to stop and sit there and pant, and to really catch their breath, right? In fact, reptiles don't even breathe when they run. They hold their breath when they run, reptiles. But us humans have this unique ability of breathing and recovering while we're in motion, which even makes it even more interesting. So we are born to move. We are born to run. We're born to be active. My mom would always be out in the yard right up until her last year, 80 years old, moving rocks, stacking wood, and Justin and Courtney would go help her. But she loved just to go around the yard just to move rocks around. And that was one thing that I was comfortable with her doing that, because that kept her moving, kept her active. Um, you know, we all know that bodybuilding muscles to a certain extent is very, very healthy for you. To have a little bit of muscular tone and to work your muscles is very, very important. So, all right, folks, I have a 10 o'clock appointment that I've got to get ready for. I've been rambling on here. I appreciate everybody tuning in. Thanks for the poll. Um, Dina says, not this human. I'll walk, no running here. Walking, of course, walking is very healthy for you. You can also start, if nobody wants to run, they can also power walk. Power walk's a great way, a fantastic way. You can look up power walking demos on YouTube, and it's just the way you move your body, and you can walk faster, but you never leave the ground like running, so it's very, very low impact power walking. Power walking is very good for you. And of course, cycling. Cycling is awesome. I've gotten out 3 times already on my bike. Today, hopefully I'll get out again. It'll be the 4th time for March that I've gotten out on my bike. I got out yesterday, did 12 or so miles. Just got out for about 40 minutes. Did a loop. Cycling is really good because it's very low impact and it keeps you moving, right? So, but overall, as a species, we are born to move, we are born to run, we are born to be active, and that's really, really key in our survival. So, Neanderthal didn't have that. Neanderthal didn't have the ability to move the distances that we had. And if you look at how humans are, we've migrated all over, right? All over the world. Migration was important for us. So that's the key to that, to our survival, is being able to move out of different areas and being able to survive based upon the current environment, whatever is happening in that area. So, swimming, yes, Joel, swimming. Thanks for mentioning that. Swimming is very low impact and really, really good for you, swimming. So, I mean, the bottom line is be active. You have to be active. And I know, Joel, you have a swimming pool there in Arizona that you're always bragging to us about in the middle of winter here. So I hope you're enjoying that pool. That is awesome. So, all right, folks, that is it. Thanks for taking our poll. Appreciate it. Of course, the dilemma that we're having is, in the restaurant world, it's always about, for us, it's all about buying real ingredients. So that's the struggle we have. These vendors come in with products, they showcase those products, and they're just full of crap. It's downright full of crap. And if more of us chefs and restaurant owners stood up to these people, and us consumers stood up to these people, they'd be forced to not having a lot of this stuff in our food. But if our government really stood up to these people, if our elected officials that we elect on all levels really stood up to these manufacturers and to the USDA and FDA, which such so corrupt to begin with their special interests in there. To really be on the USDA board, you have to come from the industry, right? So you have to come from like Monsanto. You get appointed from these, it's like the what's that saying? Guarding, you get so basically somebody from that industry comes in to protect their special interests in the organization, the government agency that would oversee that. So there's a lot of crossover in that, and it doesn't matter who the president is, doesn't matter who it is. They all let those special interest groups in there and control the hen house, right? The fox guarded the hen house, so they all let them control that, and it's unfortunate. All right, folks, thanks for tuning in. Have an amazing, amazing day, and we're closed today, Wednesday. We will talk to you later. Jamie might be on live later doing her thing. So thanks for answering our poll. 80% of you read ingredients. Great job, everybody. Thank you very much. So Cheryl just jumped on. Thanks, Cheryl, for jumping on. I had a lot to say today, but it's all about real ingredients, about just buying real ingredients and using real ingredients and reading labels and the stuff that you're eating, and teaching your kids how to do that, because the school's not going to teach them. The school doesn't know how to, and even if the USDA and things like that, in the schools just they can't go against what's being taught on the mainstream. When I was teaching culinary classes at Sullivan County, when we first opened, I did 3 years of teaching. I would experiment with the students. I'd be like, okay, guys, I know we're doing a lot of white flour baking today with bread, but let's take this section here, and why don't you guys do 50-50 whole wheat flour with the white flour? And I know this section here is, let's do 100% whole wheat. Let's see what actually comes up. And I would experiment a lot. I don't know if the other teachers really like me teaching off script and doing that with the students, but I felt it was super, super important to teach the kids how to cook with healthier foods. And of course, there was nothing like that at Sullivan County at the time. I don't even know if there is now. They might have something, but what's considered healthy, is GMO, hexane gas, pressed canola oil. A lot of people think that's healthy, right? So that's just one of the biggest dilemmas if you're just tuning in, is us just reading ingredients when it comes in the restaurant here. And I tried to buy these crackers for our cheese plate because I was explaining earlier that our organic bread alone baguettes that we use, we slice them to a certain thinness and they just break on us. We just can't keep them whole, and so we waste 50% of this expensive product to begin with. So I'm like, reach out to a couple of my distributors. I'm like, hey, listen, I need an all natural, which doesn't mean much. I need an all natural. They know what I'm looking for. Bread crisp. I need that. So a couple of them sent me stuff, and they're like, I said, what are the ingredients? And they don't even know. They're like, just accept it. If you don't like it, send it back. And so we got a couple different ones in this week, and I just didn't like the ingredients. And I'm not comfortable serving cheap canola oil and brominated flour, enriched flour. I'm just not comfortable doing that. And this Italian company comes in yesterday, we do business with, and everything they show is just so pure and natural. And there's, expeller pressed sunflower oil in products, so extra virgin olive oil. There's no chemicals and preservatives in the products, and it's just so different, depending on where you're buying your food from, especially what country it's produced in. Just so different. So, all right. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate it. And stay tuned later. Jamie might be on for her Facebook Live. Really had a fun time with everybody this morning, hanging out here with everybody. Thanks for all the comments. Thanks for doing our poll. And I would stay on longer, but I've got to get to an appointment here. We've got to renew our liquor license every 2 years. So we have that appointment at 10 o'clock. All right, folks. Talk to you later.